Bigger Ford Entertainment.
What's up, people? Welcome to the channel, and on today's episode on the Clock, I will be discussing and ranking my top 10 Marvel movies. Now remember that my top 10 may be different than yours, and that's okay. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what your top 10 Marvel movies are. With that being said, here are my top 10 Marvel movies.
And let the games begin!
Coming in at number 10 is Ant-Man, and I really liked Ant-Man. I thought it was funny and entertainment. Now, I'm not one that likes a lot of comedy in my Marvel movies, but I went into Ant-Man thinking that it was going to be a comedy superhero movie, which I pretty much enjoyed. Paul Rudd did a great job as Ant-Man. The cast was great, so that is why I'm putting Ant-Man at my number 10. Now, coming in at number 9 is Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange is the first Marvel movie that incorporated the magic element into the franchise, which I think they did a very good job at. The acting, the story, the actors were absolutely amazing in this movie. I do think the final act could use a little bit more work. I wasn't really too pleased with the end of the movie, but all in all, it was one of those movies that I was pleasantly surprised with. When I went into it, I had no idea how good it was going to be, but it definitely is one of the top 10 Marvel movies. Number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I personally had no idea who they were. I wasn't a big Guardians of the Galaxy comic book reader, so I had no idea. I seen the first trailer and I was like, okay, this looks interesting. This definitely is something that I would like to see. When I went to see it, I was so satisfied with this movie. And I'm not going to lie, when it starts off and Star-Lord is doing that dancing at the beginning, I was like, oh no, what the hell did I get myself into? Please don't let this movie be like this. But from that scene on, it was just absolutely amazing. Rocket, Groot, Drax, Gamora, all great characters, and they did this story justice. And as I mentioned before, I don't like a lot of comedy in my Marvel movies, but this one had just enough. It was funny enough. That's why I have it at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Iron Man. Now, this is the movie that kicked off the MCU universe. We got to see Robert Downey Jr. play Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. We got to see Tony Stark go from an arms dealer to a hero in the span of a movie. To me, this was one of the best castings to kick off the MCU universe, because if this movie didn't work, we wouldn't have got all the great movies we got to see. That's why this movie sits at my number 7. Avengers Endgame is my number 6, and to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the last hour of the movie, I would have probably put it lower on this list. I really liked Endgame. The last battle was epic, and the first 30 minutes was amazing. But for me, the in-between drags a lot. But that still doesn't take away the fact that this was a great way to end the first 4 phases of this universe. So for me, Endgame does not crack my top 5, but the number 6 slot is the perfect place to put it. And now on to my top 5. This honor goes to Black Panther. But wait, Onzo, you're black. Shouldn't Black Panther be your favorite Marvel movie of all time? Well, no. Don't get me wrong, I love Black Panther, but I can't ignore the issues that I have with it, like the bad CGI towards the end, killing Claw, and a little more Killmonger wouldn't have hurt. But with that being said, this was a billion-dollar movie that had a huge impact for people that look like me. Did I mention that it was also nominated for an Oscar? So for this reason, Black Panther sits at number 5. Number 4 is The Winter Soldier. What a fantastic movie. I went into this movie thinking it was going to be trash, but I was very, very wrong. The Winter Soldier was a fun, action-packed movie. It built on what came before it, aka The First Avenger, a movie I personally didn't like, but The Winter Soldier did it 10 times better. This is one of the few times the sequel was better than the first movie. The Winter Soldier sits firmly at number 4. The First Avenger movie sits at my number 3 for a reason. This was the first time we got to see Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Hawkeye all together in the same movie. And this movie did not disappoint. The stakes were high as the Avengers tried to fight off an invasion, and Loki was the perfect villain to get all of them to assemble and fight together for a common goal. We also got our first look at Thanos, and to be honest, that blew my mind. So number 3 will always be held by this movie for a long, long time. And now, the top 2 movies in the MCU. Number 2 goes to Civil War. Civil War, the third movie in the Captain America franchise and the best one out of the 3 in my opinion. Now, this franchise was the only one where the movies got better as they went along. We got our first look at Black Panther and he stole the show in my opinion. The story, give or take a few issues that I had with it, is almost a perfect movie. That is why this movie is at number 2. And now, my number 1 MCU movie of all time. And to be honest with you, my favorite movie in general is Infinity War. I waited 10 years for this movie, and it did not disappoint at all. We finally got to see Thanos and how powerful he really was. I have always been a big fan of the villain winning in movies, so when Thanos collected all the Infinity Stones and did the snap, I was pretty much jumping out of my seat, and I was like, yes! To me, this was a damn near perfect movie. Empire Strikes Back was my favorite movie of all time from the first day I seen it. Well, right up until I seen this masterpiece, it will be hard-pressed to beat this one. That is why it is my favorite movie of all time. Infinity War comes in at number 1. So those are my top 10 Marvel movies. Now you may agree with them or not, and that's okay. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what your top 10 Marvel movies. Thank you for checking out the channel, and with that, peace.
Bigger Food Entertainment.